Kia ora and welcome to this IT training tutorial video on using tabs to align text. Many people use Word for years without even knowing about the tab key. They need to change the alignment or spacing, so they press the space bar repeatedly everywhere they need extra spaces. But when you're writing a thesis, I assume you've got better things to do with your time, so you're going to see today how the tab key can be used to change text alignment and spacing very quickly. First of all, where is the tab key? It's on your keyboard, usually just above the caps lock key. When you press the tab key, it shifts your text across the page. So if I click in here and press the tab key, you see how it moves it to a default location. It also keeps your text left aligned. Now you might think that just using the tab key will take care of all your problems, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes by using the default tabs, we end up with spacing that doesn't really work. Now I could go back to all those first lines and put in 2 tabs, and that would technically work, but I've got a better solution. I'm going to create my own custom tab stops. Now, when I want to do that, there are 2 things that I need to have switched on to help me with this process. The first one is the ruler, so I'm going to show the ruler. I can do that either through the View menu and choose Ruler, or through the View tab on the ribbon and put a tick next to Ruler. The other thing that's really helpful to have on is the non-printing characters. If I turn that on, I can see all of my characters that will not get printed, which includes the tabs. And the tabs are these little arrows. Now this first one is so subtle that you can't even see it. But there it is. Now what I see here is the default tab stops. And I'm going to go ahead and select all of those tabs and change them. Now if you look on the ruler, you can see these are the default tab stops. So anytime I press the tab key, it's going to shift the text along to that location. But if I go all the way to the left of my ruler, way over here, I can see something that's called the tab bucket. Now if I click around on it and then let it come back again, this is actually a left tab. Now in older versions of Word on a Mac, it actually used to tell you what they were, but this time when I hover over it, it doesn't tell me anything. But that is the one that I've got by default. So when I go to the ruler, I'm going to click where I would like to have a left tab. Now this is showing me the left tab. I can see that all the other defaults are still there, but the one to the left is now missing. If I want to change the location of my tab stop, I would go into the ruler and drag it to where I'd like it to be. And if I change my mind about using this custom tab, I'll drag it off the ruler and that makes it disappear completely. I'll just click back on the ruler again and just reset that where I'd like it to go. Now this custom tab stop is only available on these selected paragraphs, but if you apply a custom stop and then you hit the enter key, it will continue to be in your document in that new paragraph, but any older paragraphs will not contain that tab stop. Now I'm going to look at some other ways of doing tabs. So just right here, I would like to put on a right align tab so that these all right align on my page. However, when I put a tab at the beginning of a line, Word has an annoying habit of using a special helper that turns this into an indentation. So I could either change it back to a tab or just tell it to leave me alone from now on, and now all of these, when I press the tab key, will stay tabs. Now this time I'm going to select the text and change the alignment to a right align tab. And when I click on the ruler now, you see that all of my text aligns to the right wherever I have put in that tab stop. This next set is a little more interesting. I'll do the same thing by putting a tab stop at the beginning and then selecting these paragraphs. This time I'm going to use a decimal tab. Now when I click on the ruler, these align at the decimal point. And my last set, I don't actually need to put in a tab for the left alignment because of course paragraphs are automatically left aligned, but if it wasn't, I could put it in. And this is going to be just to show you that you can have multiple options on the same line. So I'll come all the way around again. There was my left, there's centered. There we go. And the last one will be right. And you can see on that one line I have 3 different alignments, and if I'd like I can adjust those using the ruler. That's the end of this lesson on tabs. Thank you for your attention. Kia ora.